and welcome to another episode of Talking About Black Metal in the Forest. It is hot. I live in Southern California, and it is the summer. It's fucking hot. So, I'm not hiking. I've been hiking for at least a month, probably a little longer. So that sucks, but I could feel my mental health starting to deteriorate, so I decided it was time to come up to the mountains anyway, even if it was just a drive and sit type of situation. So, here I am. Not quite as scenic, maybe as my usual videos, because I didn't actually walk anywhere and earn that nice view. Anyway, today I will be revealing the secrets of the new Panopticon record, and again, Into the Light. This is Panopticon's record, and it's a beast. I really enjoy it. I'm a big Panopticon fan, and I have been for a while, and that's not really a special badge of honor or anything, because a lot of people have liked this project for a very long time. And he's been an integral player in the US black metal scene for at least a decade now, I would say, probably longer. I think Kentucky came out in 2011, so yeah, probably about a decade. He's got this unique thing he does where he incorporates bluegrass, folk, Americana, that spectrum of music into black metal. So, I mean, technically it's a folk metal project, because that's literally what folk metal is. It's black metal combined with folk music. So, that's interesting, and a lot of people don't care for folk metal, and that's fine. I don't care if you don't care for folk metal, but I'm going to talk about this record because I do care for folk metal. So, and again, Into the Light is long. It is over an hour long. I think it's hour 5, hour 10 minutes, somewhere in there. So it's a beast, but that's also nothing new for a Panopticon record. So if you've listened to Panopticon before, that's not really going to be a turnoff. That's not really going to be a surprise for you. He writes long songs and he writes long records. And this one kind of threw me for a bit, because the first track is just completely, it's that folky type of music that he makes, which I like. I enjoy it. Put a pin in that, though, because I will be coming back to it. But the entire first track is just that folky kind of instrumental. Well, there's vocals, but, non-metal, kind of bluegrass, violins, acoustic guitar, stuff like that. So, it's a great mood-setting piece. It's a really good way to open the record. But then the second track, for the first 3 or 4 minutes, is also like similar. That's sort of just like ambient, low-key type of acoustic Americana. And by the time I got there, I was like, oh great, he just released another folk record. I don't care for his folk music on its own. There are other artists, I think, who are doing this style of music better. I don't really like the Scars of Man records that much. They're not bad. I don't think they're a blight on his discography or anything. They're just not really personally for me. They don't really do it for me. I think where he shines is when he combines that style of music with black metal on the same tracks and same record, like Kentucky, which I think is a masterpiece. That is an incredible piece of USBM. So I was, worried that this would just be a complete folk record, but luckily I was wrong. There's a lot of metal on this record. He just kind of takes a while to get to it, and that's fine. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. It's his record. So yeah, once you get to the middle of track 2, which I think is Dead Loons, I could be wrong, but once you get to the middle of that track, it really kicks off. And I think this is actually one of his better metal records, both in terms of production and content. Production-wise, I really think he stepped it up. I don't know if it's self-produced anymore or if he shops it out, but whoever produced this record did a fantastic job. The drums are really punchy and resonant. The guitars are like really distorted, but you can still tell what's going on. It's not just that blank wall of sound type of approach. It's very clear that there's still melody going on, that there's a lot of thought and effort put into the riffs on the record. Additionally, the vocals, which I think are a shining point of Panopticon, are really low in the mix, which is usual. That's his common approach, but it's still they still have a lot of body and presence, which is, of course, something to be desired. Uniquely, I think Panopticon, well, Austin Lund specifically, because he is Panopticon, has sort of almost a death metal approach to vocals, I would say, and I don't think that's bad, and it's not jarring or weird. I just think it's unique and notable because he has these really low, forceful vocals that would fit on a death metal record, I think. You know, you don't have, he's not shrieking, he's not doing that sort of like mid-range Watain type of theatrical thing. It's really just low death metal type vocals, but it works. I think that's why he puts them so low in the mix, because otherwise they would kind of be overpowering, which is what you want for death metal, you know, really huge abyssal vocals, but doesn't necessarily work as well for a black metal record. So I think that's why they're so relatively quiet in the mix. Plus that's just sort of a black metal trope, the sort of ghostly, distant vocals. So that works. Yeah, so I mean, just a brief overview with production. Obviously there's a lot more going on here, but I think he's really stepped it up. Additionally, and this is something I can't really overstate my enjoyment of, the inclusion of violin over distorted guitars. More bands need to do this. It is such a nice touch, and he doesn't just use it as a gimmick. It's like a focal point of a lot of these tracks. You'll just have the guitars kind of carrying the rhythm, and the violin sort of layering these intricate melodies over top, which is phenomenal, especially because of how the guitars are produced. They've got this, you know, sort of, as I said, they're very distorted, kind of muddy. So with a violin sort of filling out the high end of the mix and really, really punching in that melody, it's just such a nice touch. I love it, and it harkens back to the whole folk metal thing, the sort of bluegrass influence on the music. So, I mean, I think it works amazing. And that, you know, that's probably not an easy thing to mix either, so kudos again to whoever produced this record. So, you know, I could probably wrap up the review there. You know, if you're a Panopticon fan, you've probably already checked this record out because you just know what to expect from him at this point, which is good. You know, I think it's great that he's found his sound, is consistently putting out quality records. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up because motorcycles keep whizzing by and I'm getting really fucking pissed off. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, especially if you're still with me here. Don't forget to dislike and unsubscribe. Thanks for watching.